They're like four something.
Yeah.
$500. But I'm like, if I'm gonna spend it, I'd rather spend 2 or 300 on
it. Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long?
And we're back for Friday, fellas. It's we're late. We're very late.
what do they call that? Casually late?
Casually late. Oh, you sound terrible.
Is that on?
There.
Are we casually late?
Yeah. We're not. Well, I mean, for a party, I'd say yeah. For a TV show,
Not good.
no, it's not good. It's
Okay.
like we might as well skip the episode.
Well, I was thinking about this while we were getting ready. So, with the world the way it is and everybody kind of doing whatever they want, maybe this is the new thing. We just show up late and we make people wait and think that this is worth waiting for.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know something I've been thinking about?
All right?
This is crazy. So, say something bad happens in your life,
Yeah.
okay? And you have people throughout your circle, majority of them non-believers, right?
Yeah. What if it's a square? Is it different if it's a square, or does it have to be a circle?
I like using the circle.
Okay.
Because Meet the Fockers use a circle.
Okay.
The circle of truth.
All right.
Trust.
Trust.
Circle of trust.
So in your circle, you maybe have a couple believers, majority of them non-believers, at least in my circle, right?
Yeah.
And they go, good thoughts and prayers. I'm praying for you guys.
Yeah, thoughts. Sending thoughts and prayers.
Sending thoughts and prayers your way. And I almost want to be like, don't bother.
Yeah.
Because we go back to what we were talking about with John.
I don't need Satan's time.
He doesn't hear your prayers, brother.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be rude.
No, right.
Okay.
That's the truth.
But
Listen.
it's like, don't bother.
So this is kind of like one of my one of my other favorite topics. Say you find a video. And say it's a guy who's going on a rant about how to be a better husband and like to serve Christ before your wife will submit to you, you have to submit to Christ. It's a great message, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody sends you this video.
Okay.
What does that mean?
That is a non-believer?
No.
They just send it to you.
Say somebody sends you this video.
It means you're a loser.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you, right?
Yeah.
But then doesn't that mean that you're the judge of what, let me try and think of the right words to say here. His principles that he is sharing in the video, completely true.
Yeah.
Good message for men.
Yeah.
Great message for men.
Right.
But I'm not searching for that message.
You're not.
No.
Okay.
It's this message is sent to me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So then I'm to assume that I'm not serving Christ then.
Yeah.
Right? This is a lesson to me
Yeah.
of how to operate. But then that person is judging that I'm not serving Christ the right way.
Yeah.
So
It is. And so I guess it probably depends, because there's nothing wrong with
do you send people videos with I don't want to call it rants, but like it's not
someone swearing?
It's not sending no. It's not sending a video of John MacArthur talking about a principle in scripture. It is a direct impact. It is I don't want to say a chastisement.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like an admonishment or a calling out.
Okay, so it's funny that you bring this up because
Okay.
last night I'm at the NCO Christmas party, and a gentleman who's retiring, TJ.
Did you talk to our friend
Wendell?
Wendell?
Shortly. I think the issue is he's a popular guy. I mean, he's dealing with 60 churches, right?
Does Wendell pretend not to know you?
He does. Yeah.
Oh, that is shady.
Yeah. So, no, he acknowledged my presence a couple times, which I felt, you in those instances, you feel almost like the president of the United States in those instances.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You want to know the guy, right?
Right.
You're talking to the guy.
The guy.
And if the guy...
Uh-huh.
So, if you think in Northeast Ohio, dude, tiny megachurch, I'm the guy.
Right.
You're expecting him to go, Brian, bam,
Yeah.
bam, up here.
Yeah.
But if he's like, oh, hey, Brian.
That's what he did. That's what I got. I got a... Yeah, and it was cool because everybody that saw that, they're like, oh, he's on his radar at least.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
People are like, I wonder who that guy is sitting there.
All right, so go back to your story. Last
All right,
night.
So TJ McNew, who's retiring from Fresh Faith, started the church on the district or maybe renewed the church. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but good dude. He gets up and gives the devotion last night, and he's talking about light, but he gets to this point where he says, most people find it really hard to accept light or truth into their life. He's like, for instance, he said, and he used two examples. He goes, say you get a Christmas present and you open it up and it's a diet book. He said, how you gonna
What do
feel?
you do with that?
And then he said, then you get another, you open up another present and it's a video series on how to be humble. He said, what are you to conclude? You're a fat, arrogant person.
Yes,
said,
right.
And so, I mean, it is difficult. So if somebody sends me a video of how to treat my wife, I guess I would assume that they're saying I don't treat her well. But then second, I would think that I would want, I got to be somewhat, if I'm a Christian, I got to be somewhat introspective enough to say, okay, do I need this? Can I improve on this? Okay, thank you very much.
No, listen.
Yeah.
We know we can.
Right.
I know I am not the perfect husband.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I understand that I am flawed. But, or anything. If they send you a video on anything about following Jesus,
Yeah.
I am not Jesus,
Right.
and Jesus is the judge.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you are judging me by sending me this video,
Gotcha.
which isn't necessarily wrong, because as Christians we are to admonish one another and kind of keep each other in line.
Yeah. They're just helping you butter your bread.
You come talk to me first.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You come talk to me about it first.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Before you send the video?
Yeah. Like,
And then-
hey, I have this video. I think it will help you. I think I don't know that you're following Christ in your life.
That's not the way.
It's never going to happen.
No, you come up to him and you say, listen, you're a loser, and I'm pretty sure you're not treating your wife right.
Yeah.
I'm sending you a video
Right.
to look at.
Right.
Let's just get honest with this.
Right.
Let's just deal with it.
Yeah. And I have no idea who this guy is.
Okay.
He could be a pedophile.
You mean the guy preaching?
Yeah, he could be a charlatan,
You're exactly
taking
right.
money from people, churches.
Going to
I
get
mean, most of these
massages.
people who get in these rants
Right.
end up being a problem of some kind.
Usually.
Right? There's something in their closet.
Yeah.
But while they're out there wielding the sword, there's something festering in the back studio.
Oh, trust me. It was just this week I was having a conversation with April, and I'm like, man, I've preached for 20-some years about the need to have intimacy with God, and I said, sometimes I feel like I struggle with it more today than I did 10 years ago. Sometimes it just seems like it's all I can do to get alone, like with God. Now, am I busy in God's Word all the time? Yes. But I need like this quiet time, and sometimes I feel like I'm fighting to get there.
Yeah.
You're in a different world right now.
I know.
Well, all right, so this brings up a point. Going back to Brandon's thing. The sending prayers and the hands and you don't mean that.
Right.
You're on Facebook to get that information.
Yeah.
You're on Facebook because you're mining for that.
Yeah.
Okay? So that makes you a dirty bird right off the rip.
Right.
And then praying hands and all this, like, what?
Right.
But you were just talking about what were we talking about? You were closing with
About the fat, arrogant person?
no. What we got to hear, because it made me think about another principle this week that I was.
Oh, I was just talking about my prayer life, my intimacy with God, and how.
Oh, what if, because we're moving into the Great Delusion,
Yeah.
and the Spirit is removing himself?
Is that a book you're getting ready to write? The Great Delusion?
No.
Okay.
Should I? Is it a secret? Wait, are we repackaged secrets?
We could.
Okay. If the Spirit is removing himself, or the Spirit is being removed by all the darkness that is around us,
Yeah.
is it harder to reach the Spirit? Is it harder to connect with God?
Maybe, but Jesus.
Are people around you and the world around us making it more difficult?
Yeah, I would say more difficult would be a good way to put it. It's definitely not going to snuff it out.
It's not going to snuff it out. Well, what if when he does remove the Spirit totally and we're still here, what's that going to be like?
See, I struggle with that because I don't know how the Spirit could technically be gone completely anywhere. Maybe his influence or lack of influence on people, but I would think that still, if people in their own free will would cry out.
So you think he's here, he's just going, not touching it, not touching it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Okay.
Because like David says, where can I go? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, behold, you are there.
Yeah.
So he's omnipresent.
Even in the underworld, he's there.
Yeah. So he just chooses not to influence, or he takes his hands off it, but he's overseeing it all, I think. And I think if one person would cry out, even though he's there, if one person would cry out, I think he would come and rescue.
In hell?
Well, I don't know about hell, but I mean like today, like in this world, even though the darkness seems so dark, even if we would say his presence has been removed, if one person would cry out, I'm pretty sure he would come and rescue. That was the whole.
But now going. My idea on building on what you were saying, you feel like you're not all of a sudden you're not, because I feel this way too to a degree. Your personal time with Jesus, it feels different. It's not the same, or it's not. I don't know what words I'm looking for here, but I'm going to use the word more difficult. It's more difficult. And is that because of the darkness, the heavenly fight above us?
Yeah.
Is it wicked strong?
It might be. And I'm thinking to myself, it's kind of like when you go in the gym and you're not seeing results, you still keep going in the gym and hammering the weights. And so we've got to convince ourselves that getting alone and reading the Word and seeking God's face, even when you feel like your prayers are hitting the ceiling, you got to keep after it.
Yeah, I'm not advocating that you give up.
Yeah, no.
It's this idea, because I think I feel what you're talking about.
Yeah. And is part of it.
It may be why I need the video to treat my wife better.
It's possible.
Wait, maybe this is a thorn in my side.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that I was able to send that through a second party. Nobody knew.
No, this idea that the connectivity, the ease of the phone call to the Father, it seems like you're praying a little harder.
Yeah.
We seem to be digging a little deeper to get the same.
And I think maybe for me, I've been just kind of throwing it around, but I think I've become lazy in the sense that it's easy to sit down and watch a Steven Crowder commentary or video.
Yeah.
And you fall asleep.
Yeah. Than it is to mine the Word of God. And you have to mine the Word of... I mean, you literally have to dig through... You have to read through stuff that you're going, what in the world?
Right.
And then you got to think through it again. You got to go back and you go, I think I get this now. And then you got to pray about this and see. It's a lot of work. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem with Christianity. Everybody's like, if it's not easy, well then, Probably not going to do it.
Maybe you just understand too much of it too goodly now.
No, I know that's not the truth. I wish. I wish I understood it better. So, all right. So, I got a bone to pick with Elon Musk. Does anybody here have a bone to pick with Elon Musk? Did a demon just walk by the door there or something? I saw you look really quick.
Dude.
The light was turning on and off out there.
I did notice that. Sometimes that happens. I don't know what it is. Fly? Maybe?
So, Alex Jones said he's the devil.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Alex Jones totally turned on him this week.
Yeah.
Did you see Alex Jones with David Icke?
David
Not
Icke.
yet, was it?
Yeah, but he's a New Age spiritualist.
Was
Whack.
that earlier this week?
He is, but he's still pretty intelligent.
I would agree, he is. But he's wacky to wacky, man.
He is. But
He's
he's
really
pretty
wacky.
smart.
Alex Jones is wacky too.
I know.
Yeah.
He's also a New Age spiritualist now, too, Alex Jones.
Is that what you're officially going to call him?
I think so.
Is that judging?
Yeah, it is. And I'm afraid that that's true.
No, listen. I don't know that it's necessarily bad. I kind of think that that's where this has been going.
I think it's forming the one world religion.
To be honest with you, I think he wants to fit in too badly with Joe Rogan's, David Icke's. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As a Christian, you can't totally stand with those people because they believe heresy.
Yeah. You got to be able to put Jesus on the shelf next to Muhammad, next to Buddha, next to Shiva.
And he wants to be able to do that. Yeah. Because he's starting to believe the lie that I can see the good in all of it.
Yeah.
I see the good in all of it.
Yeah.
Everything has some good and everything has some bad.
You laughed with David Icke, but a lot of his stuff that
No,
he was talking about, he's spot on with some stuff.
I know. I wasn't laughing trying to be offensive with it. I was laughing
Yeah.
in the sense that you're exactly right. He is smart. But
Yeah.
that's part of the issue. These smart guys are teaching all kinds of
Whack
garbage.
crap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's going to be a Christian, but he never comes over.
Now you know where he's headed. He's doing interviews with Muslim clerics, and the Muslims are trying to get him.
Oh, really?
And he's like, no, I don't see that either. And so now he's locked arms with Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro. He's got a show with Ben Shapiro on Daily Wire now. So he's locking arms with them.
With the Hebrews.
They're Jewish.
Yeah.
And he's got videos out where he's talking about the three major religions. And I think he thinks maybe he can bring some kind of clarity between something we can all agree on and come together. It's weird stuff.
I like it. That's good.
And I think that's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Wahlberg, his new movie about that priest that...
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah. Did you see that new movie that's coming out, or it came out, and it's got like a lot of bad language in it? So one of the priests said, can you do a remake so that families can come and bring their kids? And so they did
he is Catholic. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. So they did a remake of it, and that's coming out a second time now. It's coming out this December, I think, for Christmas. And so when that comes out...
He's 51.
Huh?
He's 51.
Yeah. He looks good for 51. I would date him, probably.
He's probably on
He's in your peer group.
PEDs.
He is. Yeah, I would have went to high school with him. Played football against him. But anyway, he was talking in an interview about this movie, and it's about this priest that overcame tragedy, blah, blah, blah. And he makes this overarching statement that, you know what, it doesn't matter what faith you're from, you can find hope and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the dude's a pluralist. He's all about, like, whatever you believe in, it's okay. Just believe something.
Right.
It's crazy. So you've got almost everybody in the spotlight, and very few are saying Jesus is the only way.
And you know what? Someone may send me a video about submitting to Christ.
Yeah.
So my wife will submit to me.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that person isn't being submissive.
Okay, I got you. So why can't we...
It's the whole world, dude.
Can we send... I'm going to send a video to April
You should.
and say, if you would be more submissive, I would love you better.
Do they have a video like that?
No.
Why do they put the ash?
There's no
Make
way.
a-
You
we
can't...
Should, we should
We
make a video like
We
that.
will. We'll do a spoof on it.
We should.
Yeah. Okay, if you guys could help me, though, seriously, the ladies get together on Fridays to send cards to people that, like, haven't been here or, like, that are hurting or whatever,
Yeah.
and they call themselves the Card Angels.
Okay.
So I want to do a spoof on Charlie's Angels and have these older ladies be the card angels. And
angels.
Brian Marks is going to be Bosley. That'd be perfect.
Oh dear.
So we're going to do a little. It's going to work. It's going to come together.
All right.
It'll be good. All right, Brandon, what do you got?
The Catholics put ashes on their head, the X.
Yeah.
Oh, during
Ash
Lent.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's Wednesdays?
Ash Wednesday.
I didn't know that.
Not every Wednesday.
What's that mean?
Just during Lent on Ash Wednesday, which starts Lent, right?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It supposedly is about humility, and so you're walking around being humble because everybody's seeing you with this thing on your head, and you got to go, I'm doing this for Christ.
Yeah.
It's something about humility, I think.
But are you really being humble if you're walking around with a big ash thing on your forehead?
Probably not.
Probably not.
And if the only time you stop eating certain foods is on those days, well, you got a problem.
Well, I don't. Somehow McDonald's worked themselves into the fish sandwich during that whole time.
Yeah,
too.
that's good.
It's a racket.
Their fish sandwiches are good.
Do you take the bun off?
No, I'm just saying I used to eat them.
Oh, I used to eat a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I used to eat them Burger King Big Kings,
Those
those
things
chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, those were good too.
I could eat 2 or 3 of those at one time.
Yeah.
Now, if I just look at them, I gain 3 pounds. It's crazy. Someone just told me that now that I hit 50, there's no way I'm building muscle and losing fat.
There's a way around that.
I know. It's called testosterone.
Yeah. Tren.
Trenbolone.
Trenbolone.
What, is that black market, or can I get that through a doctor?
I don't know. That's a good one. That one gives you a lot of side effects, but it works the best.
Well, it's like statins. They work good, but they lower your cholesterol, but you still die from everything else that they do to you.
Yeah.
So back to Elon Musk. So he's in the news all over the place because of Twitter, and I'm trying to figure this dude out because he's super wealthy, obviously wealthiest man in the world, or one of the wealthiest. I don't know. Did whatchamacallit?
I think he is.
Yeah. Okay. So he buys this company, and then he decides to let people have free speech on the website. And all the other side, the left side, says, we're really upset that there's one platform out there now that lets people say
What they want to say.
Say what they want to say.
Yes.
And Elon is, I mean, they're supposedly trying to take him down. And now they're saying that Apple's like supposedly against him. But then he just come out, at least I think I just saw he come out with a statement and said, Apple's cool with him. So I don't know what to believe, and I think that's part of news and media. You don't know what to believe on any of
Apple's
this
cool
stuff.
with him because he has more money than Apple.
Right.
And they know, yeah. So they'll work an angle so that they can at least use them, maybe not support them fully, but use them.
And his company's probably smarter than Apple's company.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Here's why
It's the same thing. All right. So we always hear, all right, they finally got Trump. Today is the last day Trump walks the earth.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do we hear that? Right. Here's the smoking gun. He's going down. So it's the same thing with, I've noticed with the Twitter.
Yeah.
All the employees are leaving. There's going to be nobody left.
I know.
He's firing everybody. Mm-hmm. Like, every day it's the same kind of thing. Like, Twitter's done. I mean, this company is going to be in the garbage.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
No.
That's what they want.
Right.
That's what they're trying to speak into existence.
Right.
But it is not the truth. Because alone, the whole other flip side of the market will hold Twitter alive.
Right.
Right. So all the liberals make it out on there. And even so, I think it was Glenn Beck was playing an Alyssa Milano clip about how it was from The View.
Yeah.
And she said she was going to get off there. And so they're on The View. And she's like, wait a minute. I just had an epiphany. I have to stay on Twitter.
Yeah, great idea.
Because I have to be the voice of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't want to.
Right.
They can't let it go.
No.
They can't let it go.
No. And then she goes
and
on.
that's what Elon Musk knows.
Yeah, and then she goes on this rant that could you imagine if a billionaire like him gave to UNICEF, we could end world hunger? And,
so tired of
And
all
how many
that.
years ago did Musk come back and say, listen, you give me a number.
Yeah.
And if you can prove to me that you'll fix world hunger, I'll do it. They can't do it.
No, it's all talk. They're all a bunch of rubbish heads.
Oh my goodness.
Rubbish.
So here's my thought then. What did Alex Jones say about Elon Musk? Because here's my thought. Elon Musk is supposedly
sounds like Elon Musk threw Alex Jones under the bus and said he's a crazy man.
Okay, well, it sounds like Musk has supposedly dirt on the election stuff, and that's what everybody's afraid of right now.
Okay.
Because he has access to Twitter stuff now since he bought it.
Sure.
And he supposedly has files that he can show that they did something to...
Sure. What is it going to matter?
It's not.
It's not going to matter.
It's just talking points. It's not going to...
Everybody you either are in the camp that you know that the elections have been fudged,
Right.
or you just don't believe it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. What else do you need?
Right.
We used to handle elections in one day. It now takes a week.
Right.
And the places where it takes a week seems to be where the elections are contested, and where the elections are contested seems to end up for the other guy all the time.
Yep.
What else do you need?
Right.
You either believe that or you don't.
Right.
So he could come out with smoking gun proof of whatever. Mm-hmm. We're all going to go, yep, we knew it. And they're all going to go, he made all that up. That isn't real stuff.
Right.
Oh, he bought Twitter and then he found this. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do now.
Right.
Because we live in a world with no truth.
Right.
And my truth is the truth. I just have to believe it or deny it.
Right.
And that's how I exist. So I can believe and deny I'm a female.
Right.
I can believe or deny an election credibility.
Right.
I can believe or deny that food is helping me or killing me.
Right.
I can believe or deny that the poker is killing me or helping me from the vid.
Yeah. Yep.
We just make up our own truth. There is no truth.
Yeah. So I just heard last night I was talking to Becky, and she said something, and I haven't really been watching it because I guess I just assumed that this was old news anyway. But the marriage bill that just passed, so it was supposedly so that they could have equal rights to marriage and they could have equal rights,
Marry
for
your cat and stuff.
Well, I don't know. But Becky informed me that bill that they passed had nothing to do because the gay people and homosexual people, they already have the right to marry. It's already been passed. That bill has to do with people like people who are making cakes and people who are preaching and doing that. If they don't serve those people, then they could have their 501(c) status taken away and all that stuff.
If they have such a thing, or the IRS will investigate them.
So they want you to.
So like right now we're a nonprofit as Church of the Nazarene. We're a nonprofit. Blah blah blah. If we would deny,
but are there cake companies that are nonprofit? See, I don't think that isn't all that's there.
Yeah, you're right.
Because a cake company's going to be
you're exactly
for profit.
right. You're exactly right.
And it has something to do with they can strong arm the cake company
right.
that doesn't want to make the cake for the gay.
Yeah. So they'll have a better chance in court with a lawsuit.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So we knew it was coming, and now they're passing legislation to try and stop that. And so I told Becky, I said, well, here's the thing. As a church, we need to be strong enough and stand up that when they come to take our 501(c)(3), we say, hey, we will be more than happy to pay our tax. We'll render to Caesar what is Caesar's.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
It doesn't hurt us or break us, but we're not going to fudge on the truth.
Right.
We still have to stand true, and whether they take it the next step, then we'll just have to follow suit with that.
See, and so it leaves me to wonder what happens. I'm the cake guy. And you order a cake, say it's got My Little Pony on it and sprinkles.
Yeah.
And I mess it up really badly. I put a demon skull and I make it red and black. And
That's actually probably what they'll ask for.
all right, so I put a picture of the Bible
Okay, that's bad.
with Noah's Ark running into it,
Yeah,
into the seam of the Bible.
Yeah.
And, I put, you must be saved around the whole outside of the cake. What kind of, does this, now, is there a recourse for my quality?
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I made you a cake.
Right.
I did not listen to you. And let's face it, we've all went to a business or bought a thing
Right.
where it is not what we thought it was.
Right. Right.
Now, on a technicality, it is what it says it is.
Right.
But it does not live up to what it says it does.
Right.
I have a receipt
Right.
that I purchased it.
Right.
It is what it says it is, but it does not do what I thought it did.
Mm-hmm.
That does not entitle me to go after the company
Right.
because they'll just go, no, it is what I said it was.
That's a good point.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So if I make a cake and that cake is not what you thought it would be,
Right.
well, I made you a cake. And I will gladly take my money.
Yeah, that's good.
What recourse do they now have? See, I never understood this whole storyline because I would just make a messed up cake.
Yeah. Right.
Why are you making a nice cake?
Right.
Or what they want?
Right.
I don't. And then, to force somebody to make something
Right.
that they don't want to make. I never understood this narrative, and I know it's just to pass laws.
Yeah.
This narrative exists. It's probably all acted out by all the players who are involved.
Right.
So that we can get legislation and laws passed
Right.
for other things that need done.
Right.
Because this narrative of the cake thing really...
Well, isn't it the same, the concept? So, like, as a pastor, we have paperwork that says, this is how we stand by the Bible, and this is what we'll do. We'll marry this, a group of people that are male, female, and so we have these stipulations. Well, why couldn't a cake company say, these are the 15 types of cakes we make? That's it. We don't make any other different types.
Right.
If you want one, that's it. And they say, well, no, we want a special one. We don't do special ones. We just make these 15
They
cakes.
could do that.
They could do that, right?
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what's going to have to happen.
Because anybody can do that. Like, you don't walk into Walmart and say, I want a rainbow-colored pineapple. We can't make a
Right. We
rainbow.
only have this pineapple.
Yeah, this is the only pineapple we have.
Right. No, that'll have to be what happens.
Yeah.
But the idea that someone can be forced to do something, and then that person feels like they need to do it correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a well-principled person.
Right.
Maybe that's a problem with me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm starting to think about how I can screw up your cake.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with me, maybe.
Right. Because it does take away from the creativity of the cake maker, but I would think the cake maker should still have freedom as an artist to go, this month, I'm putting out this cake as a special.
Right.
And they get to do that.
Right.
And if people want to buy it, they can buy it. If they don't, go to another cake shop.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to have.
We're going to have to change everything.
Yeah.
Everything's going to change.
Right. Yeah, and I mentioned last night, too, as I was talking, that the best thing the church can do is make sure that all of these people who want to take away our rights or want to tell us that we have to do this and we can't, that we do it with love and gentleness and kindness, and we bless them. Even though they're trying to curse us, we bless them. Because that's where the church is going to shine.
Yeah.
If the church just tries to beat them up or, vandalize their stuff or do something, then it's not what Jesus taught.
Right.
So we got to treat them right. We got to do right by them, even
Right.
though they may not do right by us. The church has got to step up and do what's right. So,
I mean, I guess for the well-principled cake maker who doesn't want to make the cake for the gay person, being court-ordered to make the cake, I guess I would make the cake and then say, keep your money.
yeah,
Don't want your money.
right. It's not a bad idea, too. April just texted me and said that a student said that there was a meteor shower last night, and one of her students said that a meteor crashed into her dad's work. Did you hear about this?
No.
Breaking news right here.
Right here.
It's not heard anywhere else.
So we had... Oh, we're back up to 4 people.
Oh, all right.
That's
why.
Listen, we had 7. Now, listen. We had 7 when I was ranting.
Yeah?
And then we went on that bit. I don't remember where we went with it, but it went.
How to get more intimate
It went
with God?
down to 1. Yeah,
When we talked about getting intimate?
probably, and then it went down to 1.
Seriously?
Now listen, you're talking about meteor, and we're back up to 4.
Nice.
We're at 4.
All right. So let me see if this helps with ratings. April said, I asked her if she wanted eggs and sausage. She said,
We're down to 2.
What?
I think because I showed a light on it, we're now down to 2.
man.
People are like, I'm out. This is
All right,
stupid.
This is dumb. How can my battery be low already? This Apple phone's worthless.
Joe could have told me that. You need a little trash can robot.
I know. Well, can anybody take a shot of this, Matt? You want to take a shot of that? Can you see that in the video? Is that camera on?
No, I haven't changed camera angle for a couple seconds. And boom, there it is.
So this is one of my birthday presents for turning 50. Brian and Caitlin made this for me. It's a tin. Wait a minute.
You can't say tin.
I can't?
No, because that implies it has lead in it.
Aluminum?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it should be stainless.
Stainless?
Don't you think?
I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a stainless campfire.
Here.
With a handle.
Put it up to that magnet. Yeah, that's stainless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so stainless with a handle, and they cricketed our logo and everything on there. Really cool.
And you can have one too for $49.58.
$49.58.
Yeah. Well, we're taking orders now.
Yes, we are. And
You can get 2 for $100.
You can get
that's a good call. Yeah.
I like your math.
Yeah. And if you want, for an extra $10, we'll put a Corvette logo on the back.
Right. Yeah. Then you can be like Matt.
Yeah.
For an extra $40, we'll ship them for free.
So take a good look.
You want that for $150?
$150. I'm telling this is collector's edition right here.
For $40, we'll
First
ship it for
edition.
free.
You can literally, while you're watching our silliness, you could be sitting there drinking your coffee or your tea or whatever you want to put it.
Just
with
like
this,
us.
Just like this.
Just like, oh, wow. We spiked to 8, but now we're back down to 2.
What? When did we spike? When I did this?
It's awesome.
Wow. Maybe YouTube's just messing with us.
Could be. It's trying to, the logarithm's trying to think if we're going to make it or not.
Yeah. We are up to 109 followers, just so everybody knows.
Just so everybody knows.
So I lit up the Christmas tree thinking that we could get some festive cheer. And then I started to think, Matt, you're not a Christmas tree guy anymore, are you?
Yeah, we have a Christmas tree.
Oh, I thought a couple years ago you decided that they
No.
were satanic and evil and you were going to get rid of them.
No. We don't do Santa.
Oh, well,
We've
yeah.
never done Santa.
He
Okay,
does
we-
Krampus.
You do Krampus?
Krampus. My neighbor across the street does Krampus.
Does he seriously?
Not he, her, his wife.
She does Krampus?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I can show you on the Facebook.
Krampus is like, that's
Satan.
wicked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, gives you a picture of her sweet disposition. That's who sent me the video about being a submissive husband.
Are you serious? Because I was thinking you definitely better listen then. If Satan's telling you that you're not doing things right,
Yeah.
then that's a problem.
Whoa, dude, we've got a lot of hard, bad criminals down here, but you are messed up. All right? Listen,
Walk
I'm going to
over.
send you some scripture so you can make it into hell.
Yeah, because we can't put up with people as bad as you.
Walk over there and tap on the glass with a 45.
That's too much.
It's rough.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So April, she bought this. It's called Hippie Roller. It's essential oil roller that you put on yourself. You know.
Hippie?
Yeah, and she put it on me the other day on the back of my
Isn't
neck.
this like pharmakia?
I mean, I'm not using
Basically.
it for. Yeah, it's almost like a cologne.
Just like Halloween, it doesn't matter.
Do you have to-
do it.
It's
You
not.
have to-
It's okay.
Do you have
How
to
you
say
think about
something while it's going over you?
Well, no. She just silently says stuff. But she taps it on the back of my neck, just a couple taps, and I'm like, what's that going to do? And I'm walking through the day, and every once in a while, I'm getting this hint of this really nice,
Hippie.
essential oil hippie roller thing. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty neat. So I put some on today, and I'm like, that's good stuff.
Is it lavender?
No, I don't know what it is.
You need some drug rugs. Those hippie, you ever see those drug rugs, they call them?
Oh, with all the different colors, and
Yeah.
they're like woven fabric.
It's like wool.
It's
Yeah.
like a poncho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get one.
You should.
I'll wear that with some really nice sneakers on
I'd wear it to
Sundays.
church. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Come in and reek of marijuana.
We, Brian, we all can smell your midlife crisis.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told April. I said, I'm not sure. I turned 50. I don't remember having a midlife crisis at 30 or 40. But I'm wondering if I'm having one now.
Could. Could you like to smell good?
Well, so what happened was when we first got married, April's never liked cologne because it's too strong for her. So I stopped wearing cologne when we got married. I haven't put cologne on for 25 years almost. But now it's like the hippie.
Wear
Cologne is what teenagers put on cars because before they go on dates because they don't want to shower.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
But it has those.
You got to cover all that musk.
Yeah, but it has those qualities when you smell that smell. You know that song?
Ooh, 38 special. That smell. Sarah Havel says we should talk about Balenciaga. Then we'll get some views. And
Balenciaga?
I take some umbrage with that.
Umbrage meaning we should talk about it?
No, I don't think it's going to get us any views.
Oh, well, let's start talking about it. See.
All right.
So, are we going to
Got a
pull?
cigarette.
You got a cigarette?
So Balenciaga
Can we
is
smoke in here?
some kind of famous. You could if you wanted to, I guess.
Do you think people would be mad?
We should close this door.
People
and
would get frustrated.
We should
Yeah,
close
what?
this door and put in a fan.
Yeah. Do you think that would make the podcast more cool?
If we smoke
We
cigars.
smoke cigars.
I think we should smoke cigars.
I
And
don't
it'd
think
just
it
be
would.
like a nice haze in here.
What if we get, and then we'll get a non-alcoholic whiskey. How's that?
Okay,
They
get a
make it.
non-alcoholic whiskey. I got a fog machine. We can run some fake smoke, and we'll get those cigars.
we'll make
with,
real smoke.
Lights on the end of it. And then it'll be kind of like a spoof on people that are
We should have
actually.
the fog machine in here.
It would be cool, right? If all foggy.
We'll get it so foggy we can't even see each other.
And then it will be like, you remember that Cheech and Chong where they're in the car and
Yeah.
the cop comes up and knocks and he's like, "You keep on knocking, but you can't come."
Yeah, he rolls him a big quarter pounder, he said.
Quarter pounder. I never got into the Cheech and Chong.
Oh, they were funny.
All right, let's do the
Balenciaga.
Balenciaga.
So for those of you that don't know, which you must be hiding under a rock if you don't, but Balenciaga is a clothing industry or company that's to the elites, probably, right? I don't know anybody of us.
Well, I
that
think
can
that's
afford
where
it.
you get your, and you can get they make your labeled Michael Jordan shoes.
Okay.
So if you're Michael Jordan, they make your shoes.
Okay.
Right?
Adidas. I saw on their website they do Adidas stuff.
LeBron
Yeah.
James, probably.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so they just put out like a spring wardrobe thing, and one of the people that work for them threw on this marketing campaign of children standing in these clothes or sitting on couches with stuffed animals that were in bondage.
I just want to say, Sarah, I don't even think you're here. Oh, we went from 0 to 3.
All right.
All right.
So that works then.
Yeah.
So these stuffed animals are in bondage, and then there's bondage toys in the corner that you can see or standing up against the wall, and weird background settings and foreground settings. And then supposedly in one of the settings, there's a copy of a docket from a court case that is about pedophilia or something like that. And so, long story short, they took everything down. They've apologized for it, even though they said people blew it out of proportion and it really wasn't what they were doing. And then they said, according to the court docket, they said, oh, that was probably just something that was like part of a movie or part of a show, and it got accidentally left behind, and they took the picture and didn't get it out of there, and it's not real, and those kind of things. So we have a large company showing that they promote inappropriate child activities or putting children in inappropriate pictures and scenes, and yet we're going to let them get off with, a smile and a handshake and say that was just an accident, no big deal. And yet it appears that other people are starting to pull up other evidences of people that work for this company that have taken pictures of all kinds of other strange pedophilia type stuff and child pornography type stuff. So I got a feeling that the same thing is going to happen to this as that happened to Hunter Biden's laptop and all this other stuff.
Pizzagate.
Hillary,
Yep.
Podestas.
Yep.
Yeah, all that stuff. Listen, it goes back to the your truth thing.
Yep.
We believe this may be going on.
Right.
We believe that we know what they were saying and intending to do with their message.
Right.
It's out in front of our face.
Right.
Other people will be like, "It's art.
Yeah.
Calm down."
Right. Right.
It's just art.
That's exactly what they're saying.
Miranda Bravovich.
Yeah. Right. That's the pic. Yeah, you'll find pictures of that lady that she's taken that are
She
really.
is wild.
She's the spear cooking lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the pictures they got of her.
But
on
again,
there too.
this all hides under
Yeah.
art.
So here's what the New York Post came out and made a comment on this, and they said, or wrote an article on this, and they said that this is all QAnon conspiracy.
Yeah.
How
they
is
don't
it
even have to do that though. They don't even have to do that anymore.
I know.
They don't even need to do the QAnon thing. They do the QAnon thing because they feel like, it's a hot button or a hot. No, nobody wants to touch that hot potato.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'm not QAnon. Which they're right. I mean, it's.
Right.
I almost fear this for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, I think he'd be good as a president again. I would probably vote for him again. I'm afraid he's a hot potato.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many people are being like, he's dirty again.
Yeah.
You know, that's but they're making everything that way.
Right. Speaking of president stuff, DeSantis, that stuff came out. Was he a Yale guy?
Harvard.
Yeah.
Which I've been saying.
He's not affiliated.
With Skull and
So
Bones?
this was on
Skull and Bones is Yale.
This was on Alex Jones.
Harvard is Rhodes Scholars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he wasn't affiliated with any weird cult stuff, supposedly.
Yeah, I don't know. He's also having meetings with, like Cocaine Mitch and
Mitch McConnell?
yeah,
Oh,
like he's talking to all the bigwig Republican rhinos. It's
That's nuts.
it's a bunch of gooky gook.
Yeah.
All right, so Yellowstone is a show I like to watch.
It's rough, ain't it?
It's a little rough. It can be rough.
You didn't hear it here.
You did hear it here. Don't watch it if you don't like rough things.
Yeah.
The father of the ranch just became the governor of Montana, and
Does your dad know about this?
what they're my dad does watch Yellowstone.
Oh, okay.
What they're showing is like he is rumbling through like we would. Okay, one of the best scenes is there's this table of people, and he's like, "Who are these people?" And he's talking to like his right hand note person. It's like this is your thinking committee, basically. These are the people forming your opinions. He's like, I didn't hire any of these people. So he goes in and he stands at the head of the table and he's like, "What's your name?" And the guy's like, "Sir, da 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 da," and he's like, What talking point are you working on? And it's some environmental baloney bajumbo,
Right.
and something that John, the governor, would not. And he's like, I didn't ask you to do this, and that's not what I would think. He goes, how much money would the state of Montana save if I fired this whole table? And she's like, about $1.6 million something per year. And he goes, you're all fired.
Wow.
Clearly,
Nice.
that's what we would want to do.
Right.
But he talks to his mistress/girlfriend, now senator of Montana.
Okay.
They go for a meeting. And he's like, what am I doing here in this job? And she's like, you have to stop your bull in a china shop routine. You need to go along to get along.
This is what the girlfriend's telling him?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you've got to go to the school. Like, so she paints it, Satan always has the glossy coating. See, you have to go to the school conferences because you'll probably inspire a child to become a governor, and he may think like you. And, because he's like, wait, so in the earlier part of the show or last week's episode, he's like, what do I got to go do today? And he's like, a school conference, whatever. And he's like, well, are there going to be teachers there? No. Who's going to be there? Well, they start naming senators, other state representatives, all these other people. He's like, well, when this becomes about education, I'll go to this thing.
Yeah, right.
And so he's not going to go. And she said, well, you have to start going to these things because you couldn't be inspiring children. And it's go along to get along.
Yeah.
And that's if we're going to keep living that for politics,
Right.
then we're going to have a mess.
Right.
If we're not going to do what you're supposed to do, which is build a society where men can be free to operate as they choose.
Right. Right. And that's why, like, even when we're looking at this Balenciaga stuff, like, some people might say, well, what's it do to sit around and talk about it? Well, it doesn't do anything. However, I think as Christians, we have an obligation to protect, especially young people. Like, if we've got however many millions of Americans, as well as political figures who are fighting to kill babies in the womb and even outside of the womb, an hour or two outside of the womb, then why would we think that they actually care?
Brian, we have people like that who sit in Sunday service and call themselves a believer.
I know. But I guess what I'm saying is, why would we even question the fact that these same people would actually care about our 7-year-old children and whether or not they're in a picture?
They don't.
They don't.
No, instead, they're probably more worried about purchasing something from that clothing line so that they look bougie.
Yeah, right. Right. And we're supposed to be like God is. I mean, I'm serious. I don't know how to do it. If somebody has a plan, let me know. But and I know prayer is huge. We need to be praying about these things. But how do we protect our children?
Sell your coat and buy a sword.
Yeah. But I don't
What's
want.
that?
We can't take that out of context.
What's that mean?
But Jesus, that's not what Jesus would do. He didn't do that. Nowhere in the Bible did Jesus kill a man.
Yeah, that's true.
What was that, Luke? What?
Yeah. So that's on his way outside of Gethsemane, where he's telling them.
That's how we know homosexuals are okay.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Bible does Jesus say homosexuality is bad.
Yeah. So it appears that when Jesus first called the disciples out, and he sent them out 2 by 2, and 70 of them 2 by 2, he told them not to take anything. Don't take a money bag. Don't take a coat. Nothing. You just go out. I'll provide for you. And they did that as a test to learn that God would provide. And they came back and they're like, man, even the demons, are subject to us or whatever. And then somewhere in that time frame in between there and his trek to Gethsemane, the Garden of Gethsemane, and all that, there's that statement in Luke where he says, go sell your coat and buy a sword. And scholars are really divided on what exactly he's talking about, because when he's getting arrested, Peter pulls out a sword, cuts the dude's ear, and he says, put your sword away. The man who lives by the sword will die by the sword. So I've read it. To be honest, I don't know what it means either.
So
I
it
don't
could
think
be-
it means we just take up arms and start shooting people or stabbing
No.
people. But
Defend yourself.
maybe defend yourself. Maybe the sword has other implications. I haven't really thought through it enough. Have you ever thought through it, Matt? That particular one?
What's that, Luke?
Well,
32?
Oh, let me look.
22.
Maybe 22.
so
I
that-
use it as
there was that preacher up in Montana up at the Kalispell that my mom and dad used to go to. He did the whole write up on it.
Is his name Steven?
No, it don't matter. So anyway, he his postulation was that Peter went to kill him.
2236.
So he swiped at him, and when he swiped at him, the guy ducked, and that's how he got his ear.
Okay.
And that Peter was actually, it was in self-defense. Or somehow it was somehow, I don't remember the story, and I don't remember this guy's whole take, but somehow Peter was trying to self-defend
Okay.
and end up swiping the guy's ear.
All right.
And Jesus was like, this isn't the time or place for this. Put your sword down. And he did the whole thing where he's like, maybe he put his ear back on. All this speculation stuff that the Bible
Well,
doesn't
Jesus
say.
did put on his ear back on.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, see how good I am at
That's,
this?
yeah. That's not, that part's not. The part about him defending himself would be speculation, because there's nothing in there that the other guy was attacking.
Yeah, but he was saying if we analyze it from a movement and what men do, things that make sense men do,
Okay.
it's not a far cry that, because they were up there to take Jesus, right?
Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
So the soldier moved in to take. That's what it was. Soldier moved in to take Jesus, which that happens.
Uh-huh.
Like if you're on the side of the road,
Yeah.
a cop moves in to arrest you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so the soldier moves in to arrest. Peter lashes out,
Right.
grabs the guy's ear,
Yeah.
and that's when Jesus says, "This is not time for this." Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Makes sense.
Puts his ear. No, it does make sense,
It
but
does.
yet there's a lot of we're assuming stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I guess all of these things to me, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there is an emasculation of our society.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay? And when I say that, I say it purely as a chauvinist who wants his wife to be under his thumb. And I was talking to my Uncle Gary about this when I was down for Thanksgiving. People have no idea how close we are to being very savage. So this idea that sailors, I don't remember who I was watching, but they were saying like hardened sailors who train to go to sea and whatever, in 7 days stranded, they'll start eating each other. They know it's a possibility.
Right.
They know you shouldn't eat. They'll drink seawater. They know they shouldn't drink seawater.
Yeah.
So this idea of being a man, what the man does, we've removed by having plumbing and air conditioning. The man is a blunt hammer, right?
Yeah.
We go do the things that may not be so great. Kill the animal, skin the animal, provide the animal. Well, we don't even know what that's like anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Just as an example of things.
Right.
And I'll go to what happened earlier this week. My wife wakes me up in the middle of the night. Matt, someone's banging on the door. And I'm like, oh crap, someone's banging on the door. And it's wild banging. It's crazy banging. So I grab our little piece that I keep in my closet.
The eagle.
No. No. This is much more bearable with a shovel. And I'm walking out to the living room and I'm like, holy crap, is this it? That moment that we always talk about. And so...
Did you go back in and pick a different piece because you were
No.
thinking that?
No. Listen, Brandon, I have 2 scrawny dogs. The whole reason that we are awake is because there are 2 yipping dogs that I can't stand.
Let you know.
Or let us know.
I almost killed him for you.
I wish you would have.
Close.
Yeah. I wish you would have. Was that when they peed on a shoe? Is that what I heard?
Shoe, carpet, side of the couch,
Oh, dear.
side of their cage twice.
Was this over Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, but you know what? It's all good because Minnie likes to pee all over the carpet as well.
Dude, are those
So it's
black
great.
bites helping her at all?
No. Matter of fact, we stopped giving them to her because I think they made her sick or something because she was having stomach problems. She was throwing up, and then she was having other bad problems.
I want to say we really appreciate that you guys watch the animals because no one else will.
We need you to watch ours.
And for future reference, oh yeah, take his.
It's a good reason why they don't want to watch.
For future reference, just throw them in the garage.
Well, we did. I mean, like, when we leave, we'll put them in there. But it's funny because, like, your one little male guy, like, he's walking around sniffing and I'm watching him. All of a sudden, he picks up his leg and I'm like, what's his name again?
Max.
Max. I'm like, Max! And as soon as I did that, man, little piddle, but it caught him quick enough that he... And then he jumps up on the couch and he looks at me like... He knows he's in trouble.
Right.
He looks at me. And so we go over, and I clean it. It's just a little, like, dribble or whatever. But I'm like, yeah. And I'm walking around going, where else is he doing that where I didn't catch him? Because I know our house smells like dog urine anyway because of Minnie. She's peeing all the time on everything. It just seems like I can't keep her from
Is this because
peeing.
she's sick?
I don't know. I think she's got bladder control problems or something.
Yeah.
But you'll let her outside and she'll come back in and she'll be fine one day. And then the next day you'll let her outside. She'll pee. She'll come back in and you walk and you step in it. And you're like, seriously? What is going on with this thing? So we bought some bladder bites, started giving them to her, and she got sick. So I don't know if we're going to... Because then she stopped eating them. Like when she got sick, she wouldn't eat them. So if she doesn't...
Do you really think those are making her sick, though?
I don't know. So we might try again. Maybe she just stopped eating because she wasn't feeling good. So we'll try again. But...
So long story short version.
yeah.
I'm, Corey's like, you this, that, and the other. So the way my house is set up, I'm in the living room. I can go over to the window and look to see what's beating like a maniac on my door. And I don't. The dogs are driving me nuts because they don't know what to do. And I'm like, Corey, get rid of these dogs. And my thought is, I'm not going to go out. I'll be the blind guy if I go in the kitchen to the door. So whatever's beating on, it's going to come in soon. So I'll wait in the living room and they'll be the blind guy.
Yeah.
So just then, the banging on the door gets worse, and we hear, "Mommy, Mommy." So Corey just takes, like, the mother thing was
Yeah.
hilarious. She just runs, and it's Xylee. Xylee got trapped out in the entryway. We hang out in the garage, and I think she just woke up in that half sleep thing, and wanted to see mommy, and so we go to the garage to see mommy and daddy in
Yeah.
the evenings.
Yeah.
And I think it just didn't dawn on her. There's no lights on. Shouldn't go out there, so we locked that door. And we have the fire handles, so you can go out, but you can't come back in. So she's stuck in the entryway freezing.
Okay, let me ask a question.
But
You guys
what
didn't check
I-
to make sure all three of them were, yeah,
No.
4 of them were in bed
No.
before you went to bed?
What? Yeah.
Well, when do you know one was missing? They were out in the garage?
No, I think it just happened. No.
You think she got up in the middle of the night?
She got up in the middle of the night
yeah,
and locked herself out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, they were all in bed.
gotcha.
And so anyway, I bring all this up because now it's taking me an hour and a half to go back to bed. Because my heart, I'm like, is this the event?
Yeah.
And then I'm like analyzing, like, I am not capable. That event, if and when it does happen, and the things that I preach and teach, it's coming. I don't know what I'm going to do.
We tried to tell. Didn't we try to tell him that? We told
I'm a
you
little
that.
freaked out.
It's tough.
Told you that.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. That's like, I don't know. I don't know.
That's why you got to start small.
Like shoot cats and dogs.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like take.
I
Max out.
I did whack a gerbil with a shovel once.
Oh,
That was gross.
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's rough.
It shot up my leg and up the side of my
Oh
face.
my goodness.
Yeah, that was gross.
That's disgusting.
Well, listen, I going to the emasculated men part.
Yeah.
I don't think even 50 years ago this would have been such a question.
Right.
As there were a bunch of men who came back from seeing horrific things in Europe.
Right.
I mean, there was a whole group of people there that wouldn't mind laying a man out, because
Right.
for a lot of them, it would have been one more.
Right.
Now, we're so far removed from any of that stuff.
Right.
And then, I think our society, with this mixing of the sexes and the tearing down of the family as it should exist, only makes all that worse. It's only the white male is the enemy. We are the enemy.
Right. This has been going on for a while.
Yeah, this has been building for a long time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know where we're going. I mean, I know it's after 11. We started late, but so where do we go from? Like, if we were to sit here, the three of us, and we were to brainstorm or say, where do we go from here? Like,
I think
do we
we're
just
going
wa-
to I think we're going to the end.
Do we
I think,
just watch it blow up? And
Yeah.
then-
What else do you do? You're not gonna fix it. I ain't fixing it.
Yeah, but in the process, though, I'm like, we could be real men.
And if we go back to the beginning, well, listen. Do you believe in Jesus any less today than you did yesterday?
No, hopefully I believe more.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Do I think I do everything right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to know about Jesus, I will gladly tell them.
Yeah.
Do I go running through the streets? Listen, you must believe. Maybe that's a fault of mine, but I do not.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've been thinking about that.
That's really all we got left.
I got a video to send you.
That's really all we got left.
I know.
That's really where we are.
Yeah.
Is we're the guy in New York with the sign that's like, judgment is near.
Yeah.
Believe now.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we got left.
Right.
Because, in my opinion, everybody's heard about it to the point where we're selling it as a scheme.
Right.
The megachurch.
Right.
We have perfected selling Jesus.
Yeah. So, okay, just when you said that, so you know how Nathan went into Burton with Justin and Zoe, and they
Yeah.
did that thing where they had
Yes.
a question? Well, what if we started doing that, and we use our young people because they're less offensive, and maybe people think they could, definitely approach them, as opposed to a bunch of adults standing out there getting ready to beat up all the unbelievers? But what if we had a sign up, judgment is coming or whatever, and then when they turn around, they're like, yeah, it's coming on the church. And people will be like, what? And then we just start pulling out Revelation chapter 2 and 3,
Yeah.
the 7 churches.
Yeah.
Because God has stuff against the church as well. I mean, I don't know where the church gets off thinking it's all the non-believers that are the ones that are going to be judged. The church needs to wake up.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting around letting things happen and just idly sitting by and watching kids being, totally taken advantage of and things. But as long as our little, corner of the street is clean, we think Jesus is okay with that. But God is like, hey, the one thing I love about this church, is that you hate what the Nicolaitans do. They make those idols and they raise them up, and you hate that stuff about that. We should hate that kind of stuff. We should hate what's happening to these kids. And yet, you turn around and you say some of these things, and people are like, oh, that's not happening. That's not going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we're not, I guess.
You almost can't say nothing because it offends them.
Exactly. Yeah, the minute you try to point it out, people will be like, no, you can't say that.
Or they'll agree with you.
And then even the church gets soft because they won't say nothing because they're so soft.
But let's say you do say, and the whole church congregation's like, no, we're behind you. We agree. This is terrible. All right, we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there really is not a thing. Nobody I know buys Balenciaga.
Yeah, right.
Then you gotta love them and coddle them. Yeah, we can still love them, but you gotta.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the problem today. Like, I've had people come to me and ask my advice, and I love them and gently tell them, and then they hate me. And that's just part of life. That's just part of being a Christian. Jesus was hated, and Jesus said, if they hated me, they're going to hate you. And so we can sit around trying to go, well, in order to reach these people, we've got to be nice to them. Well, okay, I get it. Even though I can be, really
I don't even
hardcore.
think you have to say anything. I don't even think you have to say anything.
I agree.
I think people hate you because for whatever reason, when I look at you, you're a man who knows who you are.
Yeah.
And you know who you are because you have Christ.
Yeah.
They don't understand that.
Right.
And they hate you because you're happy.
Right.
You're well-adjusted, put together, seem to know who you are in the universe. And everybody around you is adrift in the sea.
Yeah.
And that for whatever reason, they're unhappy. They're discontent.
Yeah.
They don't know where they're going, and they hate you because you're grounded.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we're seeing.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to say a thing about Jesus.
No, I would. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I think people come after me because I don't give a rip what you do. I know who I am.
Yeah.
And if you want to know, I'll tell you. But
You're a horrible husband.
Yeah, I'm a
Dirtbag.
I'm a dirtbag father, a horrible husband. Listen, it's funny because my cousin, people like to pick on me because I am not a go-getter as it were, and not like I mean, I was much more of a go-getter. Now I'm like 44, and I'm like, whatever.
Okay.
And so I'll be like, yeah, I was looking for you. My neighbor was looking for you outside today, but apparently you were watching television. And I mean, maybe I was. And
Should have been reading your Bible.
should have been reading my Bible.
Ephesians chapter 5, how to love your wives. Just thinking.
Just throwing it out there. So I said, what's funny? Because I was talking to my cousin yesterday, and he was doing one of these things. I'm like, what's funny, Brad? I'm like, everybody knows what's wrong with me. And you know why? Because when they tell me, I accept it. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't go for my gun.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to fight you.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I'm never coming to your house again.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that I'll just be like, that's cool. Maybe I'll reflect on that. And then I'm cool about it.
Yeah.
And I said, that's why. And I said, what that really is everybody around me has a problem with their own lives.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. So let me ask the question then. Even when a person that's just as dysfunctional as me comes to me and says that, so like for you, you got that video. So what are you going to do with it?
Nothing. When I responded back, this is a great message for men.
Okay. So I guess my thought is though, like, what are like for me? Even if Satan himself comes up to me, like we were talking about, and says, "Brian, you're screwed up here." Like, what am I going to do with that? Because ultimately, if I'm I'm a Christian. I want to
See,
change.
and this is the problem. But see, this goes back to the praying hands. This comes full circle to our whole thing.
Yeah.
Like those people think that their praying hands are doing something.
Yeah.
Where if they're not a believer,
Doesn't
you're
matter.
wasting your time.
Yeah.
Okay. But they don't believe that because they're in the church of New Ageism.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is over where it's at. But if you admonish, if you correct, if you love a brother, that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
You then do not get to monitor that person's act. You're not a parent.
Right.
A parent comes up with a punishment,
Right.
follows through with the punishment, monitors that the punishment's being followed, and then we do a post-analysis and say, did you learn what the problem was?
Right.
I don't think that happens as believers.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I think I can come to you and Brian, I think you have a problem with X, Y, and Z. And here's the scripture that I'm going to use.
Yeah.
And do with that what you will. I don't have a right to then stand over you
Right.
and see that you're changing an attitude or a heart or a mind. That's up to Christ.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Because now you have the ability, you should have the ability, much like how our criminal justice system works,
Right.
to study, read, and then go back to that brother and say, no, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Or do nothing at all.
Right.
Let that impact you as you wish.
Right.
But just because I admonish you for what I think may be an offense,
Right.
I don't get to follow through.
Right.
That's the Lord's.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying 100%, and I would agree. I would agree 100% too, because I think even with your kids, there's a point in time where you can't helicopter over them constantly either. You got to tell them, and then you got to step back and let them make decisions, and whatever they decide, then they may decide something that gets them in a lot of trouble, and you come alongside them and you love them, but you let them get the
Yeah.
consequence for that.
Right.
You know, that's part of life.
Right.
So I think it's the same concept.
In fact, the helicopter parent has the idea that they have 100% total control
Yeah.
over that individual, which
Right.
is completely false. They are their own God-breathed person.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. And part of the issue I think you're talking about too is that a lot of times in the church or even outside the church, you don't have to be a believer or unbeliever. When people correct other people, a lot of times they're not people who are willing to take correction either.
Right.
So you correcting somebody, like telling them what they should do, and then someone turns around and goes, "Well, you do that," and they don't see that. They don't want to see that.
No.
They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question then. Like I said, like if you get the video from Satan, like, okay, I'm being a terrible father or whatever, and I go, okay, that hits me, and I go, you know what? That's right. I'm really terrible at that. So now my options are to just continue to be that person,
Right.
or continue to find motivation to change. And I think what we said earlier is that we are living in such a world where
Motivation is nothing without discipline.
exactly. So there is no motivation to change because we're undisciplined people.
Yeah.
Jay.
Discipline.
We
Well,
suck.
and the discipline is, or the undiscipline is, we have removed real life from ourselves
yeah.
with indoor plumbing, computers, electricity. We have built a world without consequence.
Right.
We are coming out of it's the 5,000 year leap, right? Up until a couple hundred years ago when the Industrial Revolution took over, the United States did what it did.
Yeah.
You worked and you ate something for your work. You were able to put on a certain amount of clothes for your work. You were able to buy a certain amount of tools for your work. You were able to put a covering over your head for your work. But it was meager, and it was hard.
Right.
It was hard labor.
Yeah.
Only in the past 120 years have you been able to take a computer, go make $50,000 on Dogecoin,
Yeah.
buy a house full of electricity and furnishment, and have no consequence if it all folds up.
Right.
Turnkey.
Yeah. That person didn't work hard. They didn't labor. They didn't toil.
Right.
And they're able to have a beautiful home and a this and a that and a whatever.
Yeah.
And there's no direct consequence for making a wrong decision, having a wrong attitude. And then combine that with the world has no truth.
Right. Well, I had someone once, well, I've had several people come to me and say this, but I had someone just recently, not too long ago, say, I don't know how you do what you do. Meaning, I don't know how you get up there and preach the truth every Sunday and then watch and see the lives that are just continuing to just, whatever. And again, that's a judgment call because I don't know every part. That life may look like it's going off a hill, but there might be one moment where, they're getting something, And so that's what keeps me inspired.
This is exactly what I'm saying, though. That's that person judging the whole congregation.
I know.
They just judged the whole congregation.
And but like the bad thing is that we all do it somewhere in our head. Like sometimes I get up there
Name
and
a church that you go to. Name a church that you go to where the pastor can't stand up there and see.
Right.
It's the human nature.
Exactly.
It's the human condition.
Yeah. And so, like, for me, I keep coming back to the point, this is really more about me being responsible for me.
Yes.
And when I'm responsible for me, then I get the opportunity sometimes to say, brother, I see this going on in your life. I'm praying for you. And then seriously pray for them and see that change.
But then this is where the love comes in.
Right.
You have to be able to then not see that.
Right.
In them.
Right.
And let God's got to deal with that.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
You may have been his voice to that person.
Right.
But it's God that's got to deal with that in that person's life.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah. Because I've been telling people, like, people that have been praying about stuff, and I'm always like, I've been praying a lot for unity in our church. And they're like, why are you praying for unity? What's going on? And I'm like, well, there's always something going on. There's always something that the devil could use to divide people. But I'm like,
people
the more...
ask you why you pray for that.
Yeah. Because I guess they want to believe that we're united. That's why. I don't think it's that they feel like, they don't want unity. It's that they're like, they see it as, well,
they don't see a divide.
I don't know. I see all kinds of areas. Like, I was just talking to April the other night, and I'm like, I want you to be praying and thinking, because I said we've got to be prepared, because I see so many things in our congregation and in our world that, like that, the enemy could use that to divide people. It's a different world overnight. To divide. I mean, people could be like, when we got through the pandemic thing, I was amazed that
we still had a church.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Because that was a divide.
Yeah.
I mean, we did lose a couple people.
Yeah.
But it was a huge problem. And how you
not to mention that was the federal government dividing the Christian from God.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a much bigger force there at work than just our church.
Right. And we're just a tiny mega church.
Just a tiny mega church.
So, yeah. I mean, we can't solve all the problems, but I think we need to be responsible to start being a disciplined people that are really starting to try to learn from Christ. Like,
yeah, but it starts with the individual.
Yeah.
And if we want to fix this country,
right?
If we want to fix the church, if we want to fix, it starts at the individual.
Yeah. You
keep your nose clean.
Yeah.
I'll keep my nose clean.
Right.
And until the individual has the conviction.
Yeah.
Until the people of America, the majority of them, are convicted by the idea of murdering a baby in the womb.
Yeah.
We will continue to murder babies in the womb.
Right. And yet, while they're murdering babies in the womb, that doesn't stop you and me from being the guys that God called us to be.
And holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
It is true. And what he just said is what you're talking about, like sending a video, holding one another accountable, but doing it like you said, in a way that says, brother, I love you. This is what I'm thinking. But you know what? You got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think I'm screwing up in my life?
Right.
Give me some feedback.
How many guys would ask another guy that?
I'm not.
Could you tell me? You're not asking anybody that?
I'm not asking anybody that. I know where I'm screwing up.
All right, then fix it, Matt.
You know what? And here's the thing. I have no reason to tell you what you're doing wrong in your life or what you're doing wrong in your life.
Why?
Because I am no different than you are.
Correct.
I mean, I would have to see something really egregious.
But if we're close enough, like brothers, I would invite Brandon if he saw me treating.
This is a little different too because you're family.
Okay, well, even Matt, if you came to me and said, Brian, I've been seeing how you've been treating Nathan, and sometimes I think you're treating him different than you're treating Brian. I would want you to say that to me with love, and then I would go back and evaluate that.
I have done those things.
Have you really?
Yeah.
To me?
Yeah. About Nathan.
About how I treat him?
No. In the days when
I remember that.
In the days gone by, I'm like my dad would have he would have laid me out for saying something like that.
I remember that.
And that's all that was. And that's all that was.
Yeah.
Because it's truth. Yeah. I know your dad would have done the same thing.
Yep.
And what you do with it is your business.
I know.
That's my opinion.
Right.
And to me, that's the right way to do that.
No, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not to come to you and go, brother, here's a 7-chapter expose on raising children.
Yeah.
I would like you to do a study on it, and then I'm going to need you to write me a report about what you got going on.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to watch you and your boy. I'm going to make sure you're doing what you should be doing.
Yeah.
No, you can't. That's not how this works.
No, I appreciate that because I remember you telling me that, and I remember that stick. Like I remember that sticking like an arrow.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that, and I remember going, yeah, I do sometimes let Nathan off the hook more than I should, and I remember thinking about that. And there are times where I have, the Spirit of God says, oh, you got to nail that, and I do nail that. And then there's other times where situations where I back off.
He doesn't know that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. My house is fine. You have those days too.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
right,
and that's fine.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is what it is.
Was what it was.
Yeah.
What it is what it was.
Like Brandon, that Christmas tree you have at your house.
You like it?
That's satanic.
I actually didn't want to put one up this year.
Because of everything that's being said about Christmas trees?
Yeah.
Wait, is there a thing? Am I missing something?
Well, not recently, but every year you've got...
That's just like a pagan thing, right?
Yeah, people say it's pagan and all that stuff.
And to me, it really doesn't matter.
No.
It's just...
I thought it was Martin Luther with all the stars.
I look at it
well,
like...
that is true. But
I look at it like Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, we have all this Halloween decorations from before we were saved.
Right.
Sarah wanted to put some of them up. I'm like, no, we're not doing it.
Right.
I would throw them out back, and I'm going to use the boards as stuff for the tractors and whatever. You know what I mean? She painted all these things on 2x4s. And,
yeah.
I said, we ain't doing it.
Right.
I don't care if it's still representing something that we don't do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
I kind of think of Christmas like that, too.
Yeah, but at Christmas, at least, your whole point of a Christmas tree and your whole point is to worship the King that came, the Savior. Whereas Halloween is all about worshiping the dead.
You take your boards with Santa Claus on them and run those over with tractor.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Right.
But the boards that say a Savior is born,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that,
put that
right?
out.
No, I don't think. Yeah. Like, I don't even want the little elves on my thing right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just misrepresentation and...
Right.
You know,
I
I
think the elves are satanic.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there some kind of... Somebody was just telling me that kids are now...
I was actually
instead of Santa Claus, it's some kind of elf that comes and brings them presents now.
Yeah.
Do you know who this is?
Well, there's the elf on the shelf thing was where this all started.
I think that's it. Yeah.
We were using them as target practice in the house, doing that laser stuff.
Yeah. I'll bring that Walter over and we'll hit with the balls and see if we can crack them.
Dude, I want to come. What are you doing? I want to try that thing for real.
I'll be home tonight.
Maybe I'll swing by and try it.
All right.
All right, we should get out of here because I got to
figure out a game plan for the bathroom.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
For real.
All right.
All right. So I think for this week,
do we have any comments at all?
We're gonna be all done. No, we just had the talk about the Balenciaga. And then you had a new.
Protect your children.
It'd be cool if Magpul sponsored us.
What's Magpul?
They make
Gun parts.
gun parts.
Ask them.
But they use our molding machines, or they did.
I know. I was talking with
Mitch.
about
Yeah.
that. That is cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, why can't they sponsor us
So
then?
so Blackhawk, I run their holsters.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're out in Montana,
Yeah, they're
supposedly,
we could
or
not, we
Montana
tried to sell
and
them
Texas. And
we tried to sell them our machine and they won't.
dude, that's cool.
They like angles.
Yeah, we'll talk after the thing, so I don't
Yeah.
know be taking my ideas.
You got an idea?
I have a lot of ideas.
That's
Listen,
good.
let's do them. All right.
I'll pretend like I'll be the chaplain of the idea.
So you want this Blue Liquid Modern podcast intro? You want that to roll?
I just put it together and see what it looked like. We don't have to do it. It doesn't matter.
What
It took me literally 3 minutes to put it together on Canva.
Did you end up listening to it and it's not
I don't know.
followed by a rap song?
I didn't listen to that one. I don't think there's any music to that one. Is there?
I don't know. Yeah, the line moves. The audio line moves.
I just
Let's
it on
not
it.
do that.
No, do it. It'll be cool.
All right, we're gonna do it.
Just so you know, this has not been approved by Northeast Community Church.
This is experimental.
Yeah.
This is people. This is what happens when you have a computer and a little bit of free time.
Yes.
All right.
Did you see? That's pretty cool. That's some Alex Jones stuff.
Yeah. I don't hear anything though.